Peace and blessings, family. Listen, peace and blessings. This is your brother Sean Ali here, Supreme Health and Wellness by Sean Ali, right? And I thank each and every one of you who tunes in, family. I pray that these brief words find you and your family and your loved ones in the best of your health and wellness. And I pray that these words are received in the spirit that I am striving to deliver them in. The spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course, the spirit of God. And I just wanted to come and share this gift with you, my baby, this gift, the Move Something campaign, right? And this is going into move yourself into healing, health, and abundant life. And this book is a science book on our body and how we can move it into healing, health, and abundant life. Because life is based on motion, and a body in motion stays in motion, right? A body at rest stays at rest. So when we get up and we move, we have to understand that there are things that we get from exercise that we cannot supplement or buy, right? There are elements that we get from exercise that we cannot supplement or buy. We have to do the exercise to receive them or create them, or we don't exercise and we forfeit it. So we're talking about, move something, the importance of exercise, because medical science teaches us, right, that the number two actual cause of death is poor diet and a lack of exercise. So in the actual causes of death, this is the list of the things that we do, our lifestyle that contributes to the causes of death, which are heart disease, cancer, respiratory problems, and the other elements on that list that they put on our death certificate, right? They don't put this on our death certificate. They put the effects of poor diet and lack of exercise on our death certificate, right? So when we're looking, if this is the number two, number one is smoking. So if you are living a lifestyle that is a lack of exercise, that's sedentary, the only thing deadlier that you could be doing is if you were smoking. So we're looking at the importance of exercise. Okay, now when we get up and we move, we understand that life is based on motion. Okay, when we look at our anatomy and we look at our human body, it's based on muscle contraction, right? That's the whole objective of our human body is muscle contraction, right? This is our heartbeat, digestion, and movement. It's based on muscle contraction. The heart beats. We have the pacemakers that's in our heart, right? So if you open up the heart, it has solenoids that send an electrical spark to the heart muscles that causes them to contract. And when they release, that's the heartbeat. Digestion, peristalsis, is involuntary muscle contraction, right? That's how the food moves. When you swallow it down the esophagus, it's peristalsis. It's involuntary muscle movement contractions that moves the food through our entire digestive system, right? Movement. To move, that's muscle contraction. The action potential, the electrical spark causes those muscles to contract. When they release, that's movement. We also have one more. Look, the lymphatic system. right? The lymphatic system does not have a pump like our cardiovascular system. The heart pulls the blood and pushes the blood through the arteries and the veins. The lymphatic system doesn't have that type of movement. It moves off of gravity and muscle contraction. The lymphatic vessels lay right on top of our muscles. So, right under the skin, you have the lymphatic vessels, right? So, when we contract our muscles, that's what pushes or moves the lymph fluid and other fluid through the lymph vessels through the lymphatic system. So, when we're looking at the importance of exercise, or right, it goes into strengthening our ability for muscle contraction. Because if your heart can't, if you have an interference with that electrical spark, your heart will stop beating, right? Digestion, it we can interfere with that. Our movement, a lack of movement in our lymphatic system, where you would have to get a massage, a lymphatic massage to manually move that fluid instead of getting up and you causing those muscle contractions and moving them on your own. This is all why being sedentary is deadly, because it impacts our ability to continuously contract our muscles. So when we have to strengthen our body. Now, when we do get up and exercise, right? Because we're looking at that muscle contraction, right? So when muscles contract, they produce an element called myokines, right? And myo means muscle. So when the muscles contract, they produce an element called myokines, right? And myokines have total health or total body health and wellness. They impact the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, the muscles, the brain. Myokines, once, let's say you're doing curls, right? Once you get to a certain point, the myokines get built up in the muscle fiber and they get released into the bloodstream. So when we exercise for a prolonged period of time, they teach us that we need at least 30 minutes a day, right? So when you get up and you exercise for 30, let's take this 30 minutes, and you move for 30 minutes straight, or that period for almost 30 minutes, right? What happens is the muscle contractions they're building up. The increased muscle contractions are increasing the myokine production. So once that muscle fiber gets filled, it becomes released in the bloodstream, and now it travels to whatever part of your body may need help. Woo! And all you got to do is get up and move, right? We cannot, you will, if you don't produce enough, now you will have to go to the doctor and get those supplement or those synthetic medicines that will do what these do, right? Another one, we have something called B, D, and F. And this is an acronym that stands for brain derived neurotropic factors. Brain derived neurotropic factors. What this does now is similar to myokines. It is a product that the body will naturally produce, right? When we exercise. And all of these, both of these, and everything that we are talking about can be found here in our manual, Move Something. I'm giving you a overview of what we can study and find out for ourselves in our manual, right? In the science book. And when we're looking at BDNFs, this is also an element that's produced in our muscle fibers. And once we get to that increased muscle contraction, this element gets built up in the muscle fiber. And the more we do, now it's released in the bloodstream. And look what it stands for. Listen, the nickname, this is the scientific name for it. The nickname is called brain fertilizer. Listen, the nickname of BDNF, brain derived neurotropic factors. The nickname of this is called brain fertilizer, right? And we know for those that grow food, you use fertilizer to enhance your product and to produce growth. So, this, when it's released in the bloodstream, it travels to our brain and it acts as brain fertilizer for us to maintain and to be able to produce new neurons. It aids in what is called neurogenesis, right? So, this, yes, you can get a synthetic medicine version, pharmaceutical version, but when you get up and you move something and you cause those muscle contractions, these are some of the elements that we receive just from moving. You get total body health, you get brain fertilizer. So when you look at the Alzheimer's and these other so-called age-related mental or brain issues, exercise is significant in how they got into that condition. A lack of exercise. See, because there's a difference between being active and exercising, right? So we know that there's a difference between being active and exercise, right? So when you look, because a lot of us are active, but a lot of us don't exercise because you have, most of us have a job or we go somewhere, so we're active, we're moving, right? So, but the difference is the intent and purpose, right? So the intent and purpose of being active or activity and the intent of and purpose of exercise. When you're being active, this is usually doing something, you're moving for others. See, when you're being active and involved in activity, it's usually you doing something for other people, right? No matter how good it can be or whatever, but you're moving because somebody requested it, asked it, told you, ordered you, whatever the situation is. The activity is based on me doing something for somebody else. Now, being active is usually hours, right? And when you're active, being active, you it's wear and tear because you're doing it for somebody else. It's for a prolonged period of time. You you're usually, and while you're doing it, right? It's easily to physically stress yourself out. It's easily to mentally stress yourself out. It's easily for you to hurt yourself. It's easy for you to be stressed out. It's easy for you to go through the negative things because you're moving for somebody else. And in the midst of it, you're going to want to do something for you. On the flip side, moving for exercise is you moving for self. See, I'm getting up, and my intent and purpose is for me to move my body to make my body healthy and strong. The intent and purpose for being active Is not I'm moving my body for maybe money or maybe because they asked to help, but it's not to make myself healthy and strong. So I get the results from the intent and purpose. You leave the gym, you ready to go. Woo! Right? You might have went in that joint and got a nice workout in. But at the end of it, you're usually more energized because we have myokines, we have the BDNFs, we have the endorphins, we have the adrenaline, we have those things that you get from exercise. And you feel an immediate reaction, right? You start exercise within that first 2 to 3 minutes, you're starting to get that adrenaline rush. You're starting to produce serotonin. You're on the way to producing endorphins. That's our energy, that's our mood enhancers, and that's our painkiller. So within the first 15 minutes of exercise, you put your body in a position where you've enhanced your mood, taking away the pain, right? You produce adrenaline for energy, and you're on your way to producing myokines, BDNFs, and the other elements that we get from simply enhancing or increasing our muscle contractions with the intent and purpose of exercise. See, we are doing this with being active. We increase our muscle contractions with activity. But the intent and purpose is for me to move myself for others. So I don't necessarily get this because now I put myself under fight or flight. See, I've opened the door for the stress response. See, so I don't get the benefits. My body isn't releasing the benefits because it's under cortisol and adrenaline. The nervous system is under the sympathetic or the autonomic nervous system. So I'm on autopilot. I'm on a response system that I'm not necessarily in control of. But when I go and I exercise, see, I'm using my thoughts, my nervous system, my muscle contractions to better myself. I'm purposely moving my body to strengthen and to build and put it in a condition where it comes out stronger. I come out healthier. I come out youthful. Right? I come out with the ability to enjoy abundant life. Oh, see, and this is what we're going to want to address with the Move Something campaign because we have something, and it's called when we're looking at being sedentary, right? The deadly part of being sedentary, it creates what is called, and I talk about it here in chapter 3, the sitting disease, death by being sedentary. Because when we sit and we aren't producing our energy, we aren't creating those elements. So the body, now we have to depend on these external sources because if I'm not creating myokines, I have to go now supplement or try to get a synthetic version. If I'm not producing BDNF, I have to get a synthetic version. If I'm not getting up and doing the things that is released from exercise, I have to get it from an external source. That's what puts us in danger. That's what puts us in conflict because the body is designed to produce these things, not eat these things, right? So when we're looking at the benefits and the importance of exercise and why the number two actual cause of death is poor diet and lack of exercise, and what makes being sedentary so deadly, right? And the difference of being active versus exercising, because we get total body health from exercise. Life is based on motion, right? And a body in motion tends to stay in motion, and a body at rest tends to stay at rest. If you would have the ability to talk to somebody in their like late 70s and 80s and 90s, they will tell you, and you ask them some health advice. They will promote exercise over food or nutrition and hydration. They will tell you to keep moving and don't stop because that's how the body is designed. We're designed with joints, tendons, ligaments, muscle fiber that are designed to contract and move. We are not designed to sit still and to be still. When you don't use it, you lose it. But when you use it, oh man, you put it in a system, in a condition where you become healed if you need healing. You become, then once you become healed. Now you become healthier. Once you become healthier, now you become stronger. Once you become stronger, now you can grow young. And when you capture that youth, now you're on your way to enjoying abundant life. Man, and all you got to do is get up and move something. So before we close, I want to, because this is a brief understanding in video, to get the full science, like we say, the full science is right here, right? Everything that I've talked about is in this science book from the Mayakins, the BDNFs. You get even the best exercises to do for certain problems. So we address the top 5 causes of death: heart disease, cancer, respiratory problems, obesity, and we show the best way to move yourself to overcome that and to deal with that, right? So it's all right here in your now in the science book. Now, we want to make sure that we really understand what exercise is, right? Because we can move ourselves, exercise to start our day, right? And then we sit for the rest of the day or majority of the day. So exercise is important, but we have to understand what really sedentary is. So the rule is not to sit more than 30 minutes, right? So this is during the day, during the daytime. Do not sit more than 30 minutes. This is the rule. This is be our guideline, not to sit more than 30 minutes. Science says for every 30 minutes, right, we need to move for 5 minutes. For every 30 minutes that we sit, we need to get up and move for 5 minutes. Here at Supreme Health and Wellness, when we reach that 30-minute mark of sitting, you deactivate, you shut down your body. It's called the sitting disease. So when we reach that 30-minute mark, even 20 minutes, so when we sit for more than 20 minutes, going into 30 and more at a time during the day, we deactivate, shut down the body. So here at Supreme Health and Wellness, what we do is we teach. When you reach that, we set our alarm, right? So this is during the day. Every 15 minutes, I cannot spell today, right? Listen, every 15 minutes, get up. Very simple. Every 15 minutes. Get up. That's it. And you will put yourself in that position where your body isn't sedentary. Your body isn't shutting down. Your body isn't deteriorating. Your body isn't losing life. So when you now this is during the day. So when we reach that 15-minute mark, we get up. We don't have to necessarily go anywhere, but you want to get out of the seated position. You want to open up your cardiovascular system. You want to contract your muscles to move your lymphatic system, right? You want to let your digestive system open up. The diaphragm is how we use the diaphragm to breathe. We need to move our abdominals and our obliques to move our diaphragm. It's hard to do that when we're sitting down. So when we stand up, our respiratory system, cardiovascular system, lymphatic system, digestive system, all of these things are improved. Blood pressure goes down because you don't have any pitch points. See, when you're sitting, right, right, most of us are, this is a sitting position, but most of us, we're sitting at an angle, right? Whether we're driving, whether we're at the desk, right? But either position, the these can become pinch points. This becomes pinch points. We are all of our vitals are here. So we're squishing all of those things. When we stand up, we open up the body. We put the body in a position where we have free flow, but we're also causing the muscles to contract. And that is where we get the benefits from exercise, right? So I'd like to say the Move Something campaign, how to move yourself into healing, health, and abundant life. Available on Amazon, right? Or you can get it directly from us. The goal is to understand that exercise is medicine. Woo! Exercise gives us our body elements that we cannot supplement or buy. We have to exercise to receive them, or we don't exercise and we render ourselves powerless. And eventually, we will render ourselves lifeless through suffering from premature death. But, family, the solution is fun and easy. All we have to do is move something, get up and move, right? So, listen, thank you all for tuning in. I pray that these words were able to um, be of an assistance or on the way to being of assistance. I'm your brother Sean Ali, and I leave you in the words of peace. I say, Namaste, Hotel, power to the people. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.